Federal government reassures Nigerians of total readiness to combat coronavirus. Abuja Federal High Court finds PDP former National Publicity Secretary Metu guilty of fraud, money laundering. In international news, global economy takes a plunge as coronavirus toll rises. And later, sport. Nigeria's under-17 women's national team, Flamingos, begin AFCON qualifiers against Guinea.
This is ANN News.
I am Olajumoke Olatunji. The federal government has again reassured Nigerians it is doing everything possible and is putting measures in place to prevent the coronavirus epidemic ravaging parts of Europe from entering the country. Reporter Kelechi Mekalam has the details.
Passengers at the international airport in Nigeria's capital, Abuja, undergoing intense thermal screening. That's part of precautionary measures to mitigate the entry and spread of COVID-19 virus into the country. The government recently set up an interministerial committee consisting the Ministries of Health, Information, Aviation and Humanitarian Management, and they're positive that there's no cause for alarm.
Inform Nigerians, one, about our readiness to combat this virus, to assure them there's no need to panic at all. We've handled, the more serious epidemics before.
The committee says there's been active collaboration among key players, safety sanitary measures are being scaled up here, and authorities have also instituted a line of care for any suspected and quarantined case.
The responsibility of giving protection to vulnerable citizens, as I mentioned. If people are affected, we have to come in to see how we can support them after the health workers must have done their own bit.
Nigeria has strong ties with China. Trade exchange between both countries run into billions of dollars. Although no case of COVID-19 has been recorded here, but there's been heightened tension over the likely importation of the virus.
The All Progressives Congress has advised the People's Democratic Party to stay in farming if it has nothing else to do since it lost the 2019 general elections. The party's National Publicity Secretary, Lanre Issa Onilu, describes the PDP as, quote, a joke, end quote. PDP had asked the Supreme Court on Monday to review its earlier judgment upholding President Muhammadu Buhari's election victory. The party also demanded a review of the Apex Court judgments on the 2018 governorship election in Osun State, 2019 Kano State governorship election, as well as the court's verdict on Katsina State governorship poll. PDP Publicity Secretary Ologbondiyan says the party is demanding reviews of the judgments because of APC's alleged plot to pressure justices of the Supreme Court to upturn the judgment of Justice Mary Odili panel on Bayelsa State's governorship election. A PDP former National Publicity Secretary Olisa Metu has been declared guilty and sentenced to 39 years in prison by Justice Okon Abang of the Federal High Court, Abuja, on all counts charges slammed against him by the federal government. The judge had earlier found him guilty of the 7-count charge filed against him by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, which accused him of illegally receiving 400 million naira from the Office of the National Security Advisor. On counts 1 and 2, Metu backed 7 years each. On counts 3, 5 years. Count 4, 7 years. Counts 5 and 6, 3 years each, and he got 7 years for count 7. Metu was also ordered to pay 375 million naira to the federal government. The court also ordered that the bank accounts of the company be closed and all the proceeds forfeited to the federal government. Abang also ordered that the company be folded up completely. Metu and his company Destra Investments Limited are being prosecuted by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission on 7 counts of money laundering, including allegations that they both fraudulently took the 400 million naira quote when they reasonably ought to know that the money was part of the proceeds of alleged criminal activity of the then National Security Advisor, Samba Dasuki. Inspector General of Police Muhammad Adamu has demanded a forensic investigation into the killing of Tiamiyu Kazim, Remo Stars Football Club assistant captain. Ogun State Police Command has also recommended dismissal of the SARS operative who allegedly was involved in Kazim's killing. The command said the operative acted unprofessionally and was on illegal duty. Late Tiamiyu's family members are demanding for justice. State Police Command Public Relations Officer Abimbola Oyeyemi says the SARS operative known as Kaka has been arrested and tried in the orderly room. Wife of the President, Aisha Bihari, has said a total synergy is required among all security agencies to re-strategize and re-examine the security structure. She said this will provide them with a view on how to stem rising cases of terrorism in the country. Mrs. Bihari stressed the need for improvements in security personnel welfare. She said this would play an important role in the discharge of their duties. She says because security in Nigeria remains the biggest challenge, it is high time security agencies explored new strategies and approaches. The Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission has placed limits on estimated bills that can be issued to unmetered customers by electricity distribution companies. The Commission says it had cancelled the estimated billing methodology regulation the DISCOs used as a basis for computing consumption of unmetered customers. NERC disclosed this in its order on the capping of estimated bills in the Nigerian electricity supply industry, which it said took effect last Thursday. The Commission said all unmetered R2 residential customers who consume more than 50 kilowatt-hour in a month, and C1 customers, those consuming energy beyond the cap stipulated by it, should not be invoiced for the consumption of energy. Coming up, African stories. Zimbabwe plans to de-dollarize economy in 5 years. Economists are skeptical. And later, international news. Global economy dips as coronavirus toll increases.
You are watching ANN.
Welcome back. This is ANN News. Now to African stories. Libya's rival government of Khalifa Haftar has been pounding areas leading to the capital, Tripoli, in a bid to take it, and the internationally recognized government in Tripoli, led by Faiz Mustafa Sarraj, has been doing all it could to ward off the pressure in the capital. At the opening of the United Nations Human Rights Council in Geneva on Monday, Sarraj deviated from diplomatic language to assail the United Nations and the international community for what he said was a lack of support for his government, faulting the United Nations and international community for not holding Haftar accountable for his attacks. Sarraj reminded the world body and the international community of their vow of support to the Libyan people when they approved the 2015 UN Security Council resolution through which his government of national accord was established. Haftar is being backed by the United Arab Emirates, Russia and Egypt, while the government of national accord headed by Sarraj is supported by Turkey. The second UN-brokered peace talks that were to bring about a permanent ceasefire ended abruptly on Monday after a week of inconclusive, chaotic meetings. UN mediator says the two sides had prepared a draft ceasefire which would be discussed when the talks pick up again next month. He finally appeared in court, but nothing happened. Lesotho Prime Minister, who had missed a court date last week, showed up in court on Monday for his murder trial. But the magistrate court wasn't sure it could try a sitting prime minister for any crime, so it referred the case to the Constitutional Court for a decision. 80-year-old Thebane is facing murder charges for the 2017 killing of his former wife, Lipolelo. This case has always entangled his current wife, Messiah, who has been charged in the murder case. The Constitutional Court's calendar as to when it could hear the case is not known. Should we decide Thebane cannot be charged while in office, prosecution would have to wait until his retirement in July. Zimbabwe has announced a 5-year plan to de-dollarize its economy, but only a few countries have been able to successfully de-dollarize, and that explains why many economists have met Zimbabwe's plan with skepticism. Faraya Wakutuya has the details.
When Zimbabwe banned foreign currencies to pave way for the reinstated local unit, businessman Kelvin Motsi was in limbo.
When I came to work, all my colleagues were asking, how should we trade today? Ever since in the morning up to now, we haven't closed the sale, 1. 2, we haven't made a full quotation because already we are fearful of sending a quote in US dollars. Already it's banned.
8 months on, things are a bit clearer. He charges in Zimbabwe dollars, but links everything to the greenback.
Every day in the morning, I look up on internet, I look up on certain WhatsApp groups, know what's going on, what's trending, what's the rate, the interbank rate as well. That's the one I use. I also go to the parallel market, I just check how much are they selling at, so that I set my prices right according to that very day. Because it's these days it's hard to strategically plan for the next month.
That means daily price adjustments, an administrative nightmare which is necessary due to a lack of confidence in the Zimbabwe dollar, though authorities think otherwise.
The central bank bases its claim on bank deposits as well as the value of transactions in local currency, which now outstrip those in US dollars. However, some say those statistics may not necessarily reflect the situation on the ground.
Especially in the informal sector, where US dollars are preferred and their use remains unaccounted.
When we begin to believe in our own currency, and we want to hold our own currency and not other currencies, then you can declare that de-dollarization is happening.
For that to happen, the Zim dollar must meet certain criteria.
1, as you have said, people do not like it. People should like money. We need money. I love money. I like money. 1, that's 1. 2, it should have a sense of secureness. To secure your wealthy in a currency, it should be easy. There should be easy access. Not of only the liquid cash, but we also have to have free access to our monies in the banks every time when we need it.
The central bank plans to release higher denomination banknotes soon as one way to improve availability.
When we return, international news. Global economy takes a plunge as coronavirus toll rises. And later, sport. Nigeria's under-17 women's national team begin AFCON qualifiers against Guinea. Welcome back. This is ANN News. On the foreign scene, global economy is taking a beating as a result of China's coronavirus that has been ravaging the country and spreading around the world. Stock markets in many major cities took a dive as COVID-19 begins causing long-term damage to the supply chains that are the lifeblood of global economy. In New York, the Dow lost more than 1,000 points as a result of coronavirus fears, wiping out all the gains made this year. Extensive losses are being recorded in the travel and tourism industries that account for 1/10 of global economy. A U.S. former senior trade economist in the White House Council of Economic Advisors, Christian McDaniel, says the damage caused by the virus will likely far outstrip that caused by the ongoing U.S.-China trade war. There is no sign the outbreak will slow down anytime soon. Investors are getting quite worried this could impact global economy for a much longer period. Although they know that, they still say it is too soon to calculate the extent of a potential economic damage. Israeli warplanes pounded Islamic Jihad targets in Gaza and Damascus in response to a Sunday rain of rockets into Israel from Gaza. Islamic Jihad took responsibility for the rockets, and the group says it was infuriated by the sight of a Palestinian militant dangling from an Israeli military bulldozer. The militant was shot by Israeli military as it tried to place a bomb near the Israeli-Gaza border fence. The reprisal attack still took place, although Israel said the 20 rockets fired from Gaza caused no injuries or damage as they were stopped by Israel's Iron Dome defense system. The reprisal attacks were on 2 Islamic Jihad locations in Gaza and Damascus. Global leader of the Catholic Church, Pope Francis, has warned against what he called unfair plans that are supposed to end the Islamic-Palestinian conflict. While visiting the port city of Bihari on Sunday, the Pope spoke on what he called, quote, the still unresolved conflicts between Israelis and Palestinians, but the danger of not fair solutions, and thus presaging new crisis, end quote. Although not mentioning U.S. President Donald Trump's Middle East peace plan, the references are clear. Trump's peace plan would allow Israel to annex all of its settlements along with the strategic Jordan Valley. Palestinians would have limited autonomy in several chunks of territory. The Palestinian capital would also be on the outskirts of Jerusalem, even that only if they met stringent conditions. The Pope's speech also mentioned the new forms of popularism and waves of refugees fleeing conflict. He spoke on the consequences of climate change and other calamities he described as an invasion. There is growing demand around the world for vegan and eco-friendly products, from the foods we eat down to the shoes that shield our feet from cold and hot surfaces and take us wherever we go, even to a town in Mexico, a footwear capital where one company is turning away from cows and embracing biotechnology. Reporter Alasdair Beverstock explains what I'm talking about.
León, a town in central Mexico and a capital of the North American shoemaking industry. The region's giant cattle ranches and resulting leather were a principal factor in the industry taking root here, and today this town produces more than 200 million pairs of footwear a year. And the industry is modernizing. Indeed, one local startup is creating a new textile for the 21st century consumer that bypasses the cow altogether. Vegan leather. It's made by Axel Gomez of Polybion.
We've been here 5 years now, so at the beginning people thought we were crazy. Now they're listening to us, and we see the trend, the global trend going towards bio solutions.
In true startup style, Polybion manufactures its biotextile in a section of a hotel garage. As well as being entirely free of animal products, the vegan leather is eco-friendly. This so-called biotextile is made entirely from organic waste, specifically mango seeds and fruit skins, which are reprocessed through biotechnology into a durable material aimed at the shoemaking and automobile interior industries. Polybion already has clients, including right here in León, where the next generation of shoemakers are taking an interest. Alba Vázquez is one such designer who has been working with the textile for over a year.
Bueno, el material realmente tiene cualidades muy parecidas a la de la piel de animal.
The material has very similar qualities to animal leather, and in fact it's actually better than the synthetic leathers made from plastic. So it's great to be able to work with these sorts of materials.
Nosotros es muy positivo el trabajar con este tipo de materiales.
The material doesn't yet beat real leather for durability, but its inventors say they're getting there.
We're completely biofabricating, so it's living cells there. We're actually growing the material. We're not as strong as cow yet, but we have to take in consideration that in our material we can control the thickness. In a cow you cannot go further than the thickness of the hide, right? So we believe if we do increase the thickness, we will surpass even cow hide.
And when it comes to the business end, while the product may be 100% Mexican, Alba says the international market is the best place for these new ideas.
There's a large market for this product in Europe, in countries concerned about eco-friendly products for many years. It's growing in Mexico, but we're focusing on exports. We'd like to expand and sell here, but it's still in the early stages.
Lo queremos distribuir y vender.
Axel says he's in talks to supply his vegan leather to some of the world's top fashion brands, and with plans to leave the hotel garage for an advanced production facility next year, it may be international interest in sustainable products that stimulates Mexico's eco-entrepreneurs.
Up next, sport. Nigeria's under-17 women's national team, Flamingos, begin AFCON qualifiers against Guinea. Please stay with us. Welcome back. This is ANN News and Sport. Udinese defender William Troost-Ekong is just one yellow card away from a mandatory one-game suspension in the Italian Serie A. The Super Eagles centre-back has amassed 4 yellow cards this season and will miss the next game if he backs a fifth when Udinese takes on Fiorentina. Transfer Market Serie A statistics shows 53 other players currently risk suspension as well. Ekong has made 22 Serie A appearances this season, helping Udinese to 7 league wins and 6 draws. Nigeria's under-17 women's national team, Flamingos, will face Guinea for the first leg of their 2020 African Women's Under-17 Cup of Nations qualifiers on Saturday. A 13-member contingent made up of 18 players, 3 coaches and 9 officials will leave Lagos for the encounter scheduled for Saturday. The second leg comes up in mid-March in Lagos. That is the ANN News this evening. Thank you for joining us. For details on these and other breaking stories, visit our website, annafrica.news. Conversation continues on our social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at ANN Africa TV. I am Olajumoke Olatunji. Have a pleasant evening.